Antiques appraiser Dr. Lori is back in studio again to take a look at an assortment of possible treasures.
Right. And I want to remind you why I'm different from all other appraisers.
Please do.
PhD, I evaluate 20,000 objects a year at more than 150 events. I don't buy any or sell any art or antiques. Appraisers who want to buy your object and also want to sell your object are probably not going to tell you the truth about the value of your object. Make sense?
And you have nothing to hide.
Nothing to hide.
And you bring the truth, and we love you for that.
I want you to know that because people will look at appraisers and think they're all the same, and we're not at all. But let's talk about what you've got. We've got some unusual objects on the table.
Well, it looks like some things go together, and there's one thing that doesn't go together.
Right.
Where do you want to start?
Well, I want to start here with the baseball because I opened up this plexi case to move the baseball so you could actually see. And I'm wearing gloves because the oils on your hands can actually go to an object. And you've seen a lot of these TV shows where people are manhandling with their hands. Oh. Signed baseballs, autographed pieces, works of art. You have to wear gloves when you're handling as many objects as I do. And this particular piece has been handled many times. So I know I saw all the camera guys flinch, but you know, when an expert does it, we know what we're doing. This particular example is, of course, a signed Joe DiMaggio baseball, and the provenance or the history of the object is what gives it its great value. There are some great names on it like Whitey Ford, and of course, you know, some Yankee greats, people like you've got Don Larson and such, who threw, of course, the Major League Baseball World Series 1956, you know, no-hitter, that kind of thing. So you've got some big names here for baseball fans on this particular piece. The provenance, or the lineage of the actual ball, is one that's interesting because the person who owned the baseball actually was affiliated with, in fact, Willie Mays. So now you've got a baseball sort of, you know, the kings of baseball lineage.
Tying in.
Yeah, and that impacts value. So a baseball like this without that lineage is worth about $400. With that lineage, this one's worth about $700.
Hey, that's a big jump.
Yeah, you have to make sure that you have the correct autographs because many of them are actually printed on. They're autographs that are just prints. These are the actual signed ones, and they were signed at the Hall of Fame on a particular induction event.
Good baseball there.
Good baseball. Nice things for the guys. And then this particular example is two tools. Are you good in the wood shop?
Oh, you know it. I mean, give me a kitchen, a wood shop.
Yeah, it's your thing. So basically what we have here is this is a Stanley planer. So this is going to make that piece of wood, that piece of lumber nice and smooth, right?
Okay.
That's an early 20th century planer made by the Stanley Works, New Britain, Connecticut. And this particular piece is also early 20th century. And what happened here is these are so rusted that we can't open up this particular screw and nut to actually get this handle to come back so you can actually, again, utilize the saw.
Okay.
That's going to impact value. Now you can have that restored, a little bit, of course, of oil and get that moving again. They're worth about $175 a piece retail. And you always want your appraisal to be retail. You want to make sure that you know the retail value or what the market is bearing right now, as opposed to an insurance value, which is replacement, which is a little bit inflated. An auction value is usually 50% of the true value.
Much less.
Much less. If you're going to buy at auction, you're going to get a bargain. If you sell at auction, you're going to lose your shirt.
So go retail.
Go retail. Know the retail. Ask for the retail. I want to know how much the market is right now for it. And then we have the continental European flintlock guns from the mid-19th century.
People have been wondering. This has been quite the talker here.
These are really beautiful. They're in what I would consider good condition. They're not in perfect condition. You can see the flintlock, which is this particular element right here on the top. Right here, the flintlock, you come back. And then basically what you have, again, is a pistol. Sometimes they're called dueling pistols. Sometimes they have, in this case, they have a wooden stock here, this grip in wood. Sometimes it's brass. But we can tell that they're continental European or in the continent of Europe because of their structure, because of their foundation and their materials. They've been somewhere very, very damp over a very long period of time, maybe a basement, maybe somewhere else. Value on these are about $600 a piece or $1,200 for the pair.
Hey, that's good.
Very nice.
One of the things that you brought up in this, which kind of, makes me question, you've talked about putting the money into refurbishing. Sometimes it's smart to do, sometimes it's not. You talked about how these were rust, maybe with a little oil, it would put it in working condition.
Right.
Is that something that people want to do when it comes to items that have some rust?
Couple things about refurbishing. Before you have anything refinished, reframed, cleaned, any of that, with antiques, you want to make sure that you know the value, because you don't want to put more money into the restoration than the value or the worth of the object. Okay. So you don't want to pay $500 to clean that painting. The painting's only worth $50.
Right.
Usually. And then something, oh, it's sentimental value. Okay, but know that before you go in. Mm-hmm. The other thing you want to make sure is ask for a before and after from your refinisher, or restoration professional. I want to see your work. That basically you're saying, I want to see what the pieces looked like before, and now I want to see what it looks like after. And make sure that they do refurbishing or cleaning of your particular type of antique.
See, we could have Dr. Lori continue going on all day. She does have a lot of YouTube videos out there, along with the Facebook page, website. Go learn for yourself. Thank you for coming in.
You're welcome.
Always a treat.
Thank you. Lots of information at drloriv.com. Thanks, Natalie.